I'm going to do a little core routine. Now before you start any strengthening or stretching, you want to get the blood, the oxygen flowing around your body. You want to warm up your body. So either go for a quick walk, 5-10 minute walk, or if you've got one of those stationary bikes, go on a stationary bike for a bit. In classes I tend to do an activation, so something like this, deep breath in and then exhaling. So just getting the blood pumping around those legs, breathing deeply underneath the armpits, so you're stretching the diaphragm down and out. Sighing out the breath, starting to press through the heels, so you get some nice activation through those thigh muscles, through the glutes. Deep breath in and out. And then stay in this goddess stance and press down through the heels while you press up with your hands overhead. Nice lateral stretch for the spine. And I tend to push up and then pull down, getting the obliques working, the side muscles. And then just release shoulders, pressing one and then the other down. And then I like to do a movement through the pelvis, inhaling, tail up, exhaling, tail under. So this starts to get the breath and the pelvic floor working. So you've got the diaphragm working synergistically with the pelvic diaphragm, the pelvic floor. And of course these muscles make up part of your core, as do your deep transverse abdominal muscles and the multifidi, the tiny little muscles around your spine. So we need to work both the front and the back of the body, of the core, of the torso, as well as really get in tune with the breath. So the breathing, chin slightly tucked in, is coming down and then out and then up. And I'm going to get you to do some nice circling through the hips. This just helps to release these hip muscles, the psoas muscles here, the side of the hips, the lower back, lower circles in the other direction. And just do as much of this as you need to in order to start to feel a little bit warm. Full rotation from the shoulders, because of course we need to make sure that we are able to take the arms away from the midline of the body without lifting up the rib cage, part of your core health. Now I'm just going to stand on one leg. Imagine you're being lifted up through the crown of the head. Lifting up the other, get a bit of balance going on, pressing down deeply through the standing leg and just getting some blood pumping through this leg here. Works on the core, my breath and my balance. So all the little muscles in my standing foot are working pretty hard, holding it there, rolling through the ankle. And then I'm just going to do a couple of hip rolls here. So it's really going to challenge your balance. If you've got a wall nearby or something you can hold on to with one finger, that's sometimes all you need. Let's do that on the other side. So grounding down, lifting up through the crown of the head, pumping out with that foot, switching on core muscles, tummy button to spine, really ploughing down through my standing foot, lifting up through the crown of the head and holding it there, rotating through the ankle, and then just a couple of circles outwards and then circles inwards, challenge the balance. Good, and then some squats, just traditional squats, exhaling on the way up. When you're squatting, always making sure that the knees stay on top of the ankles, and you're going to go as far down as you can without tucking your tail under. As I come up, drawing the base of the rib cage in, squeezing shoulder blades together at the back. Get a bit of blood pumping around the body. Good. Okay, so let's come down and start working on some core, deep transverse abdominal muscle stuff. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me all right. Coming a bit closer. I've got a block, but you don't necessarily need a block. All right, so starting down on your back with your knees bent, like so. Shall I come a bit closer so you can see me? Hello. I know. If I tilt this down, that's better. Alrighty, so here we go. Onto the back. Now, we want to be neutral spine, so that means you're not imprinting, you're not flattening the tummy button to the spine and tucking. You're instead slightly anteriorly rotating the pelvis And you've got about a finger space underneath your base of the rib cage here. So neutral spine. Start off just with your breath. Inhaling, stretching the breath into the belly, into the side ribs here, and as you exhale, drawing it all in. So you aren't imprinting, but you are squeezing inwards as if you've got a corset on. Breathing in, and then breathing out. Good, and once you've got that synergistic breath going, start to think about the pelvic floor as well. So as you exhale, you are drawing up the four corners of the pelvic floor, pubic bone, tailbone, and sit bones, drawing them in and then zipping upwards through the cervix towards your tummy button. And then as you breathe in, everything's expanding, releasing. Exhaling in and inhaling to release. Good, exhaling in and inhaling to release. Now keep with that breath pattern, shoulders away from ears. Let's just do some toe tapping. So here it's easy to tuck under. I don't want you to do that. See if you can keep the base of the rib cage and the top of the hip bones here in one line. So you still have that little gap here. You're having to work pretty hard just keeping your feet up off the ground. So keep breathing in the same way. I'm going to exhale to bring the toe up. Exhale to bring the toe up. So you can do this little sequence as many times as you like. I'm just going to do a few of each one of these to show you how. If that's too easy, try doing double taps. Always exhaling as you come up, doing this with control. If this starts going to your lower back, you come back to one. And you know, that's pretty strong. So don't feel like you're not doing anything major when you're doing this one. Good. Now we're just going to do a little thing to switch on all the muscles, the stabilizing muscles around the pelvis. Fingertips on the outside of your knees like this. Flex the feet. So almost like you're holding eggs. And then shoulders away from ears, pressing outwards with knees, inwards with fingers. Try to keep the pelvic floor soft, but draw in the base of the rib cage. And then hands as fists on the inside of your knees, so the palms of the hands face each other. And then shoulders away from ears, you're pressing in with the knees and out with the hands. So you see that your arm muscles are working as well. Base of the rib cage drawing in, still neutral spine. This is pretty strong. But interestingly, you can try and keep your pelvic floor relaxed here. Now this one, hands just above the knees. We are pressing back with the knees and forward with the hands. And then we want to breathe out. As we breathe out, we draw in through the pelvic floor, zipping right up to the base of the rib cage. Good. Now what you can do is advance this. Keep pressing through the right hand. Take the left hand and left foot away, and then exhale back up again. Inhale, exhale back up again. So I'm pressing the knee and the hand together as I'm moving the other arm and leg. Now this is pretty strong. You want to try and keep neutral spine. Keep breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. So neutral spine, you can't really see it at the top I'm wearing, but you want to keep that little gap going on here so you're not imprinting, flattening. Breathing out as you come back. Good. Now try taking your feet up towards the ceiling, toes down towards your eyes, and hands on the ground, and just do little circles here. Little circles around the sacrum, so it's the bony part at the bottom of the on the back of the pelvis here. Little circles, and you're actively taking tummy button towards your spine here, and then in the other direction. Good. And then I'm going to take the legs apart. Turn around so you can see my legs apart. So rub the inside of your legs. Get those adductor muscles a bit warm here. Now you can support your knees as much as you need to. We're going to exhale. Use the breath to zip up through to the deep transverse abdominal muscles here and get those knees to come together because we're activating through these adductor muscles. It's all connected in. So we're exhaling. Inhaling to open. Exhaling. Now you can make this a little bit easier by bending the knees. It's still a pretty strong exercise because you're using the breath. Releasing. Releasing, that's it. And releasing. So exhaling and inhaling. exhaling and inhaling. And once again, you're just doing as many of these as feels comfortable before you move on. You can always come back to the sequence. And another one, doing your penny farthing cycling. So you might need to put your hands underneath your bottom for this one. We want to imagine we're on a penny farthing bike. So we are taking the legs right out and then down. Now you can make this more shallow, or you can make it longer and deeper. Obviously the longer and deeper it makes it harder. So keep breathing. And then to mix it up, try backwards cycling. Now you want to exhale as you bring the legs up. Exhaling as you bring the legs up. Now notice I'm not bringing my head up here. I don't want to put any more extra pressure through the pelvic floor. And I'm slightly tilting my pelvis. Good. I'm going to take the hands down again. Imagine that there's a ball on top of the feet. And as you exhale, just push the ball up towards the ceiling. Push the ball up towards the ceiling. So your bottom lifts up off the ground. And you're doing a little reverse curl through the pelvis. Exhaling. And good. Coming back, breathing into the tummy. Drawing everything in, breathing. To expand through the pelvic floor. Expand through the side ribs. Few of those breaths. Now, last one, I'm going to get the obliques. So I want to get the bandage-like muscles that go across and the transverse abdominal muscles working on the back as well. So once again, tabletop position. Now you take your feet slightly over to the side, so it's about 45-degree angle here. Now I'm going to imagine in my mind's eye that I am drawing a arc here with my knees. I do it on an exhalation. So I'm exhaling, knees come up slightly and then coming down to that side. Breathing in, exhaling, here, exhaling, exhaling. So even though if you're just looking at me from the front, it might look as if I'm just taking my knees one side to the other. I'm actually drawing upwards and then dropping down, exhaling upwards and then dropping down. It's like a bell curve. And you're kind of rocking from one side of the pelvis to the other. So you need to do this with control. Now to make this harder, you can extend one leg, come back, extend one leg, come back, extend, come back, extend, come back. To make it a little bit easier, tippy toes on the ground, same thing, knees across, and you're still in your mind's eye pulling up and then dropping down, doing that arc, like that, up and then down, up and then down. Give your ankles a rotation, press up through the heels, rub the back of your legs, turn your feet out, rub the outside of your legs. Right, and then we're going to flip over onto tummies because of course the back muscles are just as important as the front muscles as far as your core goes. Whenever I flip around, my hair does all crazy stuff, so damn my hair. Right, so we want to stretch out those tummy muscles first of all. So come into Cobra, Sphinx, I mean, let's come to Sphinx pose. So we're shoulders away from ears, we're pressing down through the tops of the feet, and we're just drawing ourselves forward and up, shoulder blades coming together at the back. So releasing through those deep transverse abdominal muscles, nice smooth breaths and getting a little bit of movement through the spine here. And then come down, take the hands underneath the shoulders and doing this dynamically. So we're inhaling, we're pressing through the tops of the feet, we're inhaling, we're slowly coming up, we're exhaling, we're going down. So we're using the breath, and I want you to imagine that you are vacuum packing those tiny little muscles around the spine into the spine as you're coming up. So we're not going straight into the big muscle groups, we are squeezing into the spine, protecting it as we come up. Good. Breathing in. Breathing out, taking the arms out in front of you, so you're stretching the whole body, toes stretching, tummy button slightly off the ground, so it's like you are pulling your tummy button to your spine. Inhaling, arms back, exhaling, releasing. Sorry, swimming, arms back, exhaling, release. Inhaling, tops of the feet remain on the ground to start off with, and releasing down. Tops don't funny things, okay, so inhaling. Now holding it here, See if you can take the toes off as well. So we want to crown of the head forward, fingertips back, toes back, rocketing forward, really nice and strong. So we're working all of these back muscles into the lumbar spine, also the thoracic spine as well. Bum muscles are switched on here, and release down. Just let the pelvis rock, toes in, heels out, crocodile pose, and just let your forehead drop onto your hands, resting, belly breathing, so you get a nice relax through the whole of your core. So good to reset, to relax, and then coming back and doing a bit more of that Shalabhasana. So stretching fingertips out in front, breathing in, exhaling, breathing in, exhaling, breathing in, holding it, toes up if that's comfortable, crown of the head forward, and just giving yourself a little bit of a lift here. Good. And you can make it harder by taking the hands out in front and doing little swimming things with your feet, kicking with your feet. Good. So we want to come into a child pose now, just to take the spine in the other direction again. Knees apart, dropping yourself down. You can use your brick to take underneath your forehead, and hands down by your sides if possible. Otherwise, stacking one hand on top of the other. Or, if you can reach, forehead on the ground, and just letting those shoulders rest. Taking rest. And once you've done your core exercises and you've stretched out your tummy and you've activated your back muscles, either coming to sit for a little while in meditation or lying down in Shavasana, and just giving yourself a good sort of 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes to consolidate, your body to integrate, and then crack on with your day. Thank you.